Hi chess fans, welcome to Middlegame Ideas. In this game here, White is a GM from Belarus. He's ranked in the top 400. His name is Stupak. And the black player is a 11-year-old FM, ranked 2300 from Uzbekistan. Stupak, the GM, plays c4, knight f6, d4, e6, g3, the Catalan. Black continues d5, bishop to 2, and it's the Catalan with bishop to b4 check, knight to c3, castle, knight f3, takes. This is all theory, and White is giving up the c4 pawn for now, to win it back later, often with knight to e5, taking the pawn, or alternatively with compensation. Okay, castle, knight to c6, e3, rook b8, preparing to keep this pawn, but also losing some time with this plan. So White plays queen to e2, developing and forcing black's hand. Now this pawn is secure, but White can get some compensation for it. Rook d8, bishop e7, knight to e5, and in this position here, White has the active pieces for the pawn. Again, continued knight takes, d takes e, knight to d7, bishop c6, attacking the b5 pawn 2 times. And black says, no, I want to keep this pawn. Okay, so in this position here, White has the pin on the queen and the attack on the d7 knight. And this is compensation for the pawn down that black is here, and the game is about equal. Okay, so White played f4 here, and now the young FM, 11 years old, finds an amazing move, and this is exercise number 1. Black is kind of in a cramped position, has an extra pawn, but White has the compensation of this rook pin here and the space advantage. And what can be the plan for black? Pause your video now for exercise number 1 and find a plan for black. Okay, black played rook to b6, and the plan is to exchange the rook for the bishop, giving up the exchange, and the bishop is also the core of the attack of White here, because all the other pieces cannot attack the knight so quickly. So the rook moves to b6 to attack the bishop. And if this bishop moves back, White has already lost a little bit of its compensation because the knight is not attacked anymore, and black could play bishop b7, and then maybe the best would be for White to exchange actually. And then in this position here, black has still the extra pawn and is actually having an advantage here already. Okay, White decided to accept the exchange sacrifice and to say, okay, no, I want to keep this pin, and decided to cover the bishop with the queen. Black played b4 here to force the knight to a little bit worse square, because if the knight would move here, black could take the bishop. And then afterwards takes the exchange. And here, black has knight takes e5, forcing an exchange. that leaves black in this position here. Black has an extra pawn, has given up the exchange, and actually on the way won second pawn. So the rook is worth 4.5 pawns, we always say, and the piece is worth 3 pawns. So material-wise, it was favorable for black to exchange the quality for 2 pawns. But in addition to this, white now also has this weakness here, the little bit awkward knight, whereas black has the bishop pair and a nice space advantage here as well on the queen side. So have a look at this position and you will see that black is really having a big advantage here. Black is actually winning in this position, and compare this position to this position here. And the key was to see this plan of attacking the bishop, and once the queen covers it, to actually exchange, to sacrifice the exchange here. Yeah, it's really amazing how the young Nordirbeck Abdu Sattorov was able to see this, and I think it's something that is very instructive. Okay, black played f4 here. Let's move to exercise number 2 in this video. Knowing that black has this plan and this resource of exchanging the quality here, what might be an alternative move for white to be able to maintain the compensation that he got for the pawn? Pause your video now for exercise number 2 and find a way for white to avoid the quality sacrifice and maintain his compensation. Okay, this is actually very difficult because the move looks a little bit unnatural. White would have been better keeping his compensation by playing rook to d2. Now this move looks unnatural because it blocks in this bishop here. And let's be honest, when do we ever play a move like this blocking in our pieces? But actually what this move does is it makes square for the queen to strengthen this battery on the pin. And for example, if black would now follow with the plan of attacking the bishop could just take the knight. Bishop takes back, and now we have queen d1 renewing the pin. And let's say queen would move to e8 here. Then we can we can win the piece, and black can exchange in a position like this. And now white has 2 pieces for 1 rook and 1 pawn down, and the pieces can get active fairly quickly if white pushes these pawns here. And actually white is a little bit better here maybe, but probably the position is equal. So instead of playing f4, white should have thought, okay, I have this pin, this is the resource that I had, I never get this pawn back here. I have to capitalize as much as I can on this pin, and rook d2 would do exactly that. Okay, in this position here, black played e5, immediately asking a question to these pawns here, and also making even more space for the bishop. White tried to get rid of the weakness, e4. And now, how can black make progress here? The young FN played bishop g4, trying to force the rook away from this fire, so that black could then take this file for himself. That's why white played rook d5, staying, activating the rook further. Black played bishop e6, attacking the rook. Rook moves back, and now the game went like this, repeating moves. And pause your video now for exercise number 3. How can black actually make progress here? Okay, instead of repeating moves, black found a good way to make progress here, which is moving the knight in here and giving up the pawn on e5, check, bishop g2, king g2, and knight takes. And black has further activated the pieces, created a lonely pawn here in the middle, and maintained all the other advantages. So with this operation, black has improved his position further. Okay, so, but what was the issue with playing f6 here? Obviously, the problem was that this pawn was hanging here, and black had to see, okay, if I move the knight here, it would be very natural to move the knight here because it's a nice outpost. But if I move the knight here, I have to see what happens if white can take here, because moving the knight here gives up the cover of the e5 pawn. So why not play f6 first with the plan of moving the knight to d5 in the next move. Pause your video for exercise number 4. What was wrong with the move f6? What plan can white now implement? Okay, black did not want to play f6 because white can now play bishop to e3. Okay, what's the plan here? The plan is to exchange the dark squared bishops so that white can gain control of the c5 square, which will allow him to bring in this knight here, and in this position where the knight could come to c5, black suddenly has the open file where he can double the rooks. The knight is super active here, it cannot be attacked easily, and it can attack a lot of other pawns. So actually, for example, after e takes f, g takes f, rook e8, trying to prevent the pin. Nonetheless, bishop c5, king f7. Black says, okay, if I have to exchange this bishop, I'm going to at least activate my pieces. Takes, takes, knight to c5. White is actually a little bit better here, thanks to the strong knight and the control of this rank here, of this file here. Okay, so that's the reason why black, you know, in this position here, you might think, okay, so how do I proceed? This looks to be a nice outpost, but this pawn here, you know, is hanging. So if why do I not just cover it here? Very interesting that black did not decide to play like this because he was seeing this plan of exchanging the bishops and getting the nice square for the knight. Okay, so that's why black played this bishop g4, rook d5 dance, and in the end found the plan knight to d4, immediately saying, okay, you can take this pawn, I'm going to win it back. And have a look at this position here. Black still controls the c5 square, telling to this knight, okay, you have to stay here, you know, you're not going to participate in this game. And at the same time, White still has a little bit trouble getting control of this file here because the rooks are not yet connected. And in addition to this, White has this isolated pawn here, whereas Black has this nice battery here, the nice pawns. And so thanks to this operation, Black really found a good way to make progress. Okay, let's have a look how the game continued and finished. White played bishop f4, f6, e3. Again, the square here plays a role in the game. But now White establishes this nice outpost here. It's very hard to attack this knight, making sure at the same time, together with this pawn here and this pawn here, that the knight has no way to get into the game. b3, trying to desperately find a way to activate the knight. f5. This open file here is now blocked, and Black attempts to open this file here, so the rook doesn't even have to move, and suddenly it becomes a strength that the rook is here. B takes c, f takes e. Rook has to cover the square. Bishop takes, doubling the rooks. And after exchanging a piece here, blocking the file again, a3, a5, just strangling the white position here. Now these pawns are super strong. The bishop pair is at its maximum productivity. The rook is on the open file, and the bishop here has very few squares. It's very hard to activate these rooks. They're not connected, and Black's plan is very easy to push these pawns. And White resigned here. So I hope you enjoyed this game, and let's have a look at the key positions again. In this position here, Black found the plan of attacking the bishop and being ready to exchange the to sacrifice the exchange. White could have prevented this plan by capitalizing on the pin, which is the compensation that he has in this position here. In this position here, after the bishop and rook dance, Black found the resource to just give up this pawn and with this operation keep all his strengths in the position. And at the same time, he didn't want to play f6 because it would allow White to gain control of the c5 square, exchange the bishops, and actually get a better position where suddenly the rooks are connected and are controlling the open file. Thank you very much.